Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DSP podcast. It's been a long time coming. I'm a man of the people, though. I've returned. Everyone wanted the podcast back, so I got to deliver. So today we'll basically be discussing NBA free agency, also the recent draft. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I was supposed to be, using this mic today, but I don't know. I don't really know how to use this tech stuff, so I hope I didn't waste $100 some dollars. Not my money, but on that stupid mic. So let's dive right into it. So talking about the draft, this was a big draft, probably the most anticipated one because of the prospect. I don't know his name, Zion Williamson. My opinion, dude's going to be a bust. Don't want to get into that here. We'll definitely get into that with some co-hosts. I got some dudes that disagree with me, but just to start off, best draft team. I agree with ESPN on this one. Some of their analysis are boneheads. Shout out Stephen A. Smith. But, yeah, Atlanta Hawks definitely had the best draft. Their trade up with the Lakers to get DeAndre Hunter, I thought was a brilliant move. I thought they were honestly going to take Garland, who was ranked second, in my opinion, in this draft class above Morant and Barrett. I mean, other than the injury, you saw him. He appeared in the Drew League, and it just really looked like he was going to return from this injury okay. So, I mean, I like the guy a lot. I had DeAndre Hunter as the fifth best player in the draft, so, I mean, fourth, fifth pick, and honestly, he fits exactly what the Hawks need. John Collins is a great upcoming power forward. We obviously know what Trae Young can do. I mean, this team's going to be honestly really scary. These guys are a bunch of dudes that can play. And then at number 10, they have my favorite player in the draft. Also, probably the biggest sleeper. He was projected in the top 3 starting off the season, I'm pretty sure. And even midway through the season, the order was supposed to go Barrett, Zion, and then Cam. So obviously that flipped up a little bit with John Morant from Murray State kind of emerging. So, yeah, I mean, the Hawks, I love how they play the game. A very young team. Trae Young, I don't know if he can be a leader yet, but I just like the idea of the team, all in all. Obviously, they're young. It's going to take 2 or 3 years, but I bet you my prediction right now would be in 3 years, they're going to be a playoff team. They'll probably be up there, 2 or 3 seed. They just got to keep building. And then one of the questions for example, on my Instagram, some of your questions didn't get answered. One of the questions was, why do you think Cam Reddish will be such a good player in the league? So, when you're looking at players in college, you have to look at what they can do on an NBA scale. So, let's take Zion Williamson, for example. So, Zion Williamson, all season long, what did he do? All he did was bully people down the post. I mean, he obviously got his transition dunks that were all over, House of Highlights and Sports Center, but he would just bully people, and without an outside jumper, it was okay, because these guys that are playing in college, unless they're playing Duke and Kansas, he was perfectly fine. So, that, in my opinion, that does not translate to the NBA in good fashion. But we get to a guy like Cam Reddish, who's a pure scorer. He can score from all 3 levels. In my opinion, the 3 levels: 3-point range, mid-range, and then obviously under the basket finishing. And when I look at Cam Reddish, he can do all 3. He is terrific size, 6'9" for his position. He's got a beautiful stroke. One issue with Cam Reddish, I've definitely seen it, and people talk about it all the time. It's just his health. If Cam can stay healthy, and he admitted the other day, he was talking to Stephen A. Smith, obviously bonehead, I've said that before, but they were talking about Cam Reddish's health and how he's admitting, too much pizza, too much junk food. If this dude can stay healthy, I can't even tell you how good he is going to be. He is the best scorer in this draft by far. And if he wasn't shadowed by R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson at Duke, he would be top 3 pick. I'm not saying he'd be number 1. I'm definitely not saying he'd be number 1. But he'd be easily a top 3 pick. I think the Hawks got a sleeper in him. And, I mean, really, virtually no one really talked about DeAndre Hunter. I think DeAndre Hunter might be the best fit for the Hawks. He's a better fit than Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is just a great all-around player. He would fit on any team. So the Hawks definitely won the draft. My Celtics had a good draft. And then they also picked up Taco Fall, 10-day contract. Love that. Love to see the guy go there. Yeah, so Reddish is my favorite player in the draft. Other than that, so this draft was a little boring. We kind of knew who 1, 2, 3 was going to be, especially after Memphis traded that pick, Mike Conley. So I don't disagree. I mean, obviously the Pelicans would get bashed pretty hard if they didn't take Zion with the first pick, but so you know how that's going to go, sort of. Yeah, so honestly, I really thought the Hawks, did a great job. And obviously, I think the Celtics did good. Sixers didn't really have the picks to get there. I know they, didn't. I don't know how much they need. I know they're trying to. We'll get into the free agents, but the re-signing of Jimmy and Tobias Jimmy or Tobias. There's no way they can coexist in Philly. We'll be talking about that later as well. So yeah, I mean, Hawks definitely dominated. So let's get right into it with free agency. Oh my God, this is going to be such a good free agency. Starting July 1st, the floodgates are going to open. I mean, we have 3 of the top, maybe even 4 of the top 10 players, all unrestricted free agents this summer. Obviously, Kyrie and Kemba can get a lot more money, over $45 million in bonuses if they stay with their respectable teams, and the Celtics and the Hornets. I don't know, whoever wanted to play for them. Michael Jordan. Only reason that that team is somewhat relevant. So early predictions right now. This is without any sources, just what I think. Kyrie and KD have, I'm sure you guys have known this, have been reportedly teaming up. They met the other day. As of right now, Kyrie's in China, so he's on whatever spiritual things you can see it on Instagram. The dude's a weird guy, but they've been seeing the team up. Obviously, LA only has 1 spot, so thank God we would not see another super team out in California. That state's gonna become never mind. Yeah, so I think Kyrie's going to Brooklyn. I can't tell you KD's gonna follow. There was a report today from a Golden State official that Kevin Durant's extremely unhappy with the Golden State Warriors training staff, not only about his injury, just the way they've handled things, not taking full responsibility for it. I think their GM's a bozo. I really do. I mean, Steve Kerr's the only official that I respect in that organization. The rest of them really haven't done anything. It's just been a players build. So, yeah, Kevin Durant. I really couldn't put a finger on it. If I had to tell you right now my best bet, I'd say, I'm ignoring all the reports, I'd say he'd re-sign with Golden State. I see no reason why he wouldn't. You know what I mean? Just a good team. Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Brooklyn. But and then my current favorite player in the league, another good free agent, not top 10. We're going to talk about, I know, fun guy. D'Lo. D'Lo's been reportedly had a lot of interest in the Lakers. I want him bad on the Celtics. The dude can straight out ball. He proved that this year. I just don't understand as a player how you can go to a team that turns you down. You know what I mean? They drafted him. I don't know if it was 2 or 3. He was up there somewhere, and then automatically they just, got rid of him. Decided, we'll see you. So, I mean, honestly, if D'Lo went to LA, I don't even know if they'd need a Kyrie or a Kemba. I wouldn't approach a Kyrie or Kyrie just, as far as chemistry goes, I've known it from being a Celtics fan, just destroyed our chemistry. We went from an Eastern Conference team to a second round exit to the Bucks, who we got absolutely annihilated by. Yeah, D'Lo, prediction on him. A couple kids asked on D'Lo because they know how much I like him. I would say right now the Lakers are the front runner, especially because Kyrie, like I said, is going to Brooklyn. So I mean, if he doesn't go to the Lakers, I would say he's going to the Celtics next. I know Danny Ainge is pursuing him. As well as Kemba Walker hasn't showed any interest. So, All right, let's get into fun guy, as they call him in Toronto. In my opinion, I know I answered this, but I'll say it again here. I think he's going to sign a 2-year deal in Toronto. I see no reason why he wouldn't. Obviously, not only with all the add-ons he received in Toronto, but just in general. I mean, if they keep that core squad together, I mean, they can win the East next year. The Bucks have a bunch of free agents, including Middleton, who one of the best players in the league that no one's talking about. I'm not talking about best players. I'm talking about players that no one's talking about. Chris Middleton can flat out ball. They just do. I love the Bucks. Everything they do, how they spread out the floor. They send Giannis down and then kick it out if he has not got an open lane. So if losing Middleton will really hurt. Celtics need a few years to rebuild. We'll get into the Sixers when I have a couple guests to talk about them. But the Sixers, I don't think are going to be a threat next year, in my opinion. Jimmy's going to go to L.A. That's going to be their asset. And Tobias might resign, but, I mean, he's not a leader, especially not in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler was definitely a guy. I thought in the beginning of the last year, I thought the Sixers were going. I really did. I thought the Sixers were going to go to the finals. And then, not in the beginning. In the beginning, I thought the Celtics were, obviously. I mean, a ton of people thought the Celtics were. If you were going to tell me that you thought the Raptors were going to win the Eastern Conference, I'd tell you to get out of here because that's just ridiculous. I thought the Celtics to the Sixers, that's what I thought the Eastern Conference was, and I was completely wrong with that. So, the Celtics just blew up mid-season. I don't even want to talk about that. We're on to free agency. Other big free agents. Yeah, so I think Kawhi's going to sign a 2-year, and then eventually, some point in his career, I can promise you, he will go out to L.A., and by L.A., I mean the Clippers. He will not go to the Lakers. He couldn't coexist. When we're talking about coexisting with players, we're talking about Chris Paul can't coexist with James Harden, stuff like that. I don't think Kawhi could coexist with LeBron. Kawhi is a leader. He might even be a better leader than LeBron, even though he does it silently. So I got I know you guys are gonna hate this, but I got to talk about my Celtics real quick. Steven Adams has had mutual interest in Boston. Now, one of the questions I had on my story was from a Celtics fan. Does Steven Adams put the Celtics above the 5th seed in making the playoffs? The answer to that is absolutely not. I'm a Celtics fan for life, but they are going to struggle hard next year, and I cannot have this bum Terry Rozier playing point guard. I love the pick of Carson Edwards, but as a 6-foot point guard, he's not going to get the minutes his rookie year. And Steven Adams is that's a leader we need, especially losing Al Horford. He can go. I didn't even like him. I mean, he can just leave. Kyrie's gone. Didn't particularly lose that trade, but Steven Adams would be an interesting piece. I think we would get to the playoffs with him. Without him, I think we're 7 seed, 8 seed. We're pushing it. I think, I like Steven Adams I like him as a leader. Good, he can give you good minutes, so that'd be a huge pickup for us. And then I think the one outlier that I really have no idea, besides Kevin Durant, would be Kemba Walker. Originally, I thought he was going to go to New York. New York gets something other than Andre Iguodala's comments about how they're getting no one, which is pretty funny. A horrible organization the Knicks are, but yeah, I still think Kemba's going to go to New York. If he doesn't go to New York, he's going to Boston, depending on where D'Angelo Russell goes. But if the Celtics only pull out one free agent, it's a bad summer. All right, let's get into the Sixers, since I know most of you guys are Sixers fans. So the question is, what do the Sixers do this summer? Oh, my God, this is a hard free agency. They did so well around the trade deadline, getting Jimmy Butler and then Tobias. And I thought that put them over the hump for sure, especially when the Celtics were struggling so bad. I thought the Sixers were definitely going to get over that hump. But when we're, again, a big theme, especially when we're talking about the NBA, is coexisting, because all these dudes have attitudes. You guys, if you don't realize that by now, it's not just team. These guys, once you put money aside, I mean, these guys are all the same. They all want to win. They want to win so bad, but it's like their ego are more important than the team. So when we're talking about players, I think Jimmy Butler, huge ego, honestly. I don't care what anyone says. And Tobias Harris, if you see his interview he just did, I forget who it was with, but I watched it. He wants to be that guy, and he could not be that guy, especially with Jimmy Butler. And Embiid even got upset. I mean, they ended up figuring it out. Obviously, he got a little bit sicker because his body can't handle the work that bozo Brett Brown is putting him through. But yeah, the Sixers, if they don't get Jimmy Butler, they're in trouble. I mean, unless Embiid finds a way to sort of set a path for that body other than what he's doing right now, because that's miserably failing. So that's basically it on the free agents. I can't think of anything else I wanted to go over. And one idiotic question I got: thoughts on Bol Bol. I got this like 3 times. I didn't answer this. This dude, people were saying, oh my God, all over the places. Oh, what about Bol Bol? Why'd he drop so low? I'm not going to say I saw him coming, but I did not see him in the first round. Honestly, I didn't. I don't know who would pick this dude in the first round. He has, I don't know how many years his dad plays. It's 7'4". You have to run. This isn't college anymore, okay? You need to run the floor. These dudes will fast break you. He'll get into foul trouble, so he'll play 5 years. He won't be. I mean, obviously shadowing Jokic is good for him, but he won't be anything special, honestly. So, I mean, to cover up on the draft, Bol Bol, just no. All right, guys. That's about it. This was a quick one. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This won't happen again. Hopefully I can figure out this stupid mic. For any updates, follow the DSP podcast on Instagram. Bobby Cohen makes my logos. Shout out to him. This is the first episode. Next one, just be prepared with more co-hosts and everything like that, and guests. They're going to be a lot longer and more detailed. It's going to be a lot more entertaining too, especially when we're arguing. We've got a couple good ones. A lot of people requested, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know if we're going to have another episode when it's just me talking, but this was a good start. Mike kind of killed the vibe, but it's a good start. So looking forward to it, guys. Check it out.